welcome back to The Sauce with Kenzie Taylor. And today we're so full of Kenzie's here.
We are full of Kenzies.
Full of Kenzies. I meant to say full of hotness of the Kenzies, but I just fucked that all up.
You were making deep eye contact when you said it.
I was like,
ooh, Kenzies.
So if you could introduce yourself to everyone.
Well, hello. I am Kenzie Anne, and Kenzie and I have met recently, actually. I would say we were just talking about how I kind of got to know your personality at the Expos Awards.
Mm-hmm. We had the party.
The party, exactly.
Well, the party was the ABN one, and Expos we got to go to in person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Expos, you came up next to me when I was doing this interview and started interviewing next to me, and I was like, I can't fucking take this. I can't. I look like a troll.
She looked
next to this beautiful princess.
Like she had, her hairstyle that night is embedded and stuck in my head because I want to redo it so badly.
So bad. Why do the best things hurt? Like,
you're like,
seriously, they say beauty's pain.
At least.
Yeah.
Because could you imagine the pain without, like, at least some sort of beautiful presentation?
Yeah. It was really heavy, though. My hairstylist.
It looked heavy.
Yeah, he, like, wrapped around hair.
I followed your hairstylist because of that.
He's amazing. Yeah. If you want to go to somebody who's good with blondes, like, he's the best. Oof. Shout out to V. I don't let anyone else touch my head, so, yeah. He recently chopped my hair off, too.
I know, it's so hot.
That was a project.
I'm obsessed with it.
So before we just started, you were talking about how you have a bad girl day a week.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about that.
So I mean, I consider myself a very organized and well put together person, but I think it's important for me to have a night where I'm a little bit more chaotic and, you know, I hate sleep. I hate going to bed early. Like, I'm such a night owl. Everything, all my better ideas, all my positive thoughts, all my inspiration comes from like 3 a.m.
Same.
I think the way people park says so much about them.
I don't have my glasses on or my contacts in, and so my peripheral is terrible. So from here to here, I'm like blind. And Christian just swung the thing around, and I was like, Kaylee's the only one who saw it, thank God. It was so.
Oh my God.
I have this clip in my phone of this content scene that I did with Tori Ivano, and I had a glass dildo in her pussy, and we pulled it out, and she pulled it out, and she went to go put it in my mouth. And I'm so scared of glass shit by my teeth.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't miss. I didn't miss. It was like clink.
Oh,
but
fuck.
I thought it was so funny though. I'll have to show you the clip, but I always thought that the glass was closer than it was, you know? So I was like, I backed up and went like that, and then she put it in my mouth.
Oh
and
no.
we all just started laughing. It was
Do you film
hilarious.
with your contacts in usually or no? Because I feel like
it depends. If it's girl, yes.
Okay.
And if it's boy,
if it's boy, girl, you don't want to see it.
Well, if it's boy, girl, like passionate or whatever, yeah. It depends on if I want to see that day or if I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to see today.
Yeah, no,
That's
I'm
cool.
great. It's fine. My vision is just a little blurry. Who is this today?
It's so bad that I can see clips of videos and I'll know like who the guy is by seeing the dick.
Yeah. Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
You'll get to.
I feel like I'm already there a little bit. Yeah. Not that I've worked with everybody, but like the group of guys I have. Yeah. Well, there's that part too.
Yeah, there's not a lot of guys.
It's really unfortunate.
And there's a lot of girls
and a lot of really hot girls.
But yeah, back to the being blind thing. So if it's like a gonzo scene, I know it's gonna be crazy or whatever.
No contacts.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I actually like jizz in my eyes. I'm weird.
Oof.
I'll hold them open. I'll be like,
man, I just got the eye drops, the one with the white and the purple top, because I'm like, I had the last time it happened, I was like, and I'm like, I have concierge at my apartment complex, and I'm like, these guys have to know. I sometimes leave my house like so put together, so cute, and I come home and I shower, but I'm like, I have like a one red eye.
Your eyelash is just down here, like
the
hair's on top of the head. Like, what's up, guys?
What's up, guys? I'm like so put together, and I come home like a fucking whore.
You're welcome.
You're welcome for it. I love the before and afters.
So I think, you know what's really interesting? I didn't know this about you. I was actually looking it up because I was like, I'm going to stalk her.
Oh, I love stalkers. Yes. I love female stalkers.
So,
yes. I also love scary movies.
Me too. They're my favorite. So you actually, before porn, you were in nursing school?
I was.
That's interesting because I actually was as well.
No way.
I worked as an LPN. My last,
Of course
I was
you did.
I was ER, then ICU, then hospice.
Okay.
And that was what I did at the end before
You
I
did the
started porn.
nitty gritty. You did the dirty work.
Very dirty.
Very dirty.
Yeah, it was.
Oof, good for you.
Seen a lot of dead bodies.
Oof,
Yeah.
oof. Yeah.
After, it sounds so morbid when I say this, but like after you've seen like 50, it's like nothing after that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, there's things you just become accustomed and used to.
Yeah.
As weird as it is.
I think that's with every job, because even with porn too, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's just there.
Yeah. Well, I feel like what happens too is on camera, there's certain things that I know how to react to that I'm not going to think is gross. And then later on, I'm like,
Have you ever, so far on a scene you've done, have you ever went down to give a guy a blowjob and it's just been like smelly or whatever and you're like almost puking?
There's no timestamp on like the day we're shooting this, right?
Yeah, no.
Literally 2 days ago. It was,
God.
and it was so horrible that like I actually went to the doctor to get something because I thought I was gonna get BV. Like my pussy smelled so bad yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm so, the director literally just texted me.
Is that why you had to take antibiotics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, and I was like, I'm very aware. So I already
Yeah.
woke up and I'm like, thank God she smells normal again. I was like a dirty snail yesterday. I was like, fuck. I know. Sorry. I don't know if you guys come to this for hot
Have
shit
you
or not,
ever,
but, like,
have you ever, so I once heard this expression from Brett Rossi. It was hilarious. But someone on set had like a skid mark in their panties, and she was like, "Oh my God, that girl left a snail trail."
oh, but like not, okay. When you said skid mark, sorry.
Well, not that one.
Okay, good.
Maybe earlier, but not now. Dude,
I mean,
antibiotics fuck everybody up.
For sure. I mean, it does. But I'm like, no, yes. Actually, like 2 days ago, I had this guy. And, you know, I kind of judge people by the way they show up because I think that says a lot about a person. This guy showed up and I could see his sweatpants had like animal fur on it. Listen, I'm a husky owner. I get it. But they kind of had stains. The shoes didn't look
Lint rollers are great.
Lint rollers are great, and I have them. And like, I'm probably gonna be the girl that shows up with the most hair, and I still don't, you know. And his whole wardrobe looked like meh. And then I hugged him. He smelled okay. And then as soon as he got naked, I'm like, every single part of him. Like the first time we kissed, something from his mouth went into my mouth.
Oh,
You know, like it was like every part of everything that was going on was just stinky. And actually he went to put his legs behind his head, like, you know, up to get his ass ate, and I faked it because I'm like, I'm not going down there. I actually made a gag sound on accident, and I was trying so hard to like, then I was like, I'm gonna fake eating your ass, I'm gonna fake eating your ass.
yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like I've had like a good handful of guys in my life who have really beautiful, well-groomed, well-kept asses that I will eat.
Yeah.
But like, man, I have a
That, no.
tongue ring. Your hair's getting stuck in that shit. That's nasty. And I'm like,
Oh fuck. Yeah, that's nasty. You're like, okay, so I'm gonna fake chow you, and you're like, oh, that you like that, don't you? I know the audio listeners can't see that what the YouTube people can, but like we're totally fake chowing right now.
the fake chow.
But yeah, well, I mean, welcome to porn. You know,
I
like
know.
people think that we're these girls that are just like glamorous 24/7, and we go to work and we just lay down and we just get fucked, and that's all we do. It's like
princesses. I know.
No,
I know. And you know, I've worked with a female pillow princess before, and I was like, oh, you know what? That's boring anyways. So I guess I'd rather do the nasty shit.
You know what happens when I get girls like that? I'm like, if you're gonna be like that, I'm gonna throw you around, and I'm like, whoa.
Okay,
I need that pussy.
Yep,
I'm
same.
getting in it.
I had a girl do the same shit to me, and like when we were 69ing, she was like faking an orgasm on my face, and I'm like, you know, like, so I'm like, I like wrapped my hands around her and like made her like grind on me.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm like, girl, give me your fucking pussy now.
Yeah.
This is what this is for.
That's the worst if they're like, oh, I'm coming, and you're not even touching them.
It was the quietest too. Like I'm moaning more eating your pussy. She's like, I'm coming. I was like, are you? Because I'm coming louder.
She's like, oh. The funniest fucking thing one time happened on set when I was on set and I was waiting to go. Like, there was a scene before me, and the male performer and the girl, they were going to do sex stills. For anyone who doesn't know what that means, it's the photos of us having sex that get released to promo the scene, go on the DVDs and all that jazz on the website, everything. So they were doing their sex stills, and the guy isn't very large. Like, he's just like an average size guy. Went to go stick it in the girl, and she was just like overacting. So he literally wasn't even an inch in, and she was like, "Oh my God!" He was like, he pulled pulled it back, and he was like, "Come on, I wasn't even all the way in. Like, just wait for your acting when the camera is rolling." Like, it was the funniest shit ever. I was fucking dying, but she like straight up was howling.
She was like
that was
in character.
That was the greatest dick she's ever had in her life,
and it was just the tip. It was just the tip.
Just the tip. I
hope that scene was really, really obnoxious.
It was. It was. It really was. A lot of yelping.
Yeah.
Like.
See, I actually had to learn. I will say. I actually had to learn how to tone it down a little bit because I do get a little like my voice naturally, like I don't have a lot of control over my pitches.
If I could fuck a voice, I would fuck your voice, and I would fuck Katie Morgan's voice.
Oh my God,
and I would fuck
you.
Charles Darrow's voice. All three of you have the most distinct voices that I love. Oh God, but like, give me your vocal cords, I'll fuck them. I'll do it.
I wish I've had people who will hear me, like I was pumping my gas, the gas station guy, when I went to pay, he was like, "You're a singer." And I'm like, I really wish. Unfortunately, I've sounded like this since I was a kid, but also I love dick in my throat. So
yeah. You're like, "Actually, sir, I just deep throated like probably an hour ago." So it's just
my throat's a little.
You're like, I'm healing.
The funny thing is, like, I'm really into chakra healing. And my chakra that always needs the most work is my throat. So I think
checks out.
It really does.
You're like, okay. Yep. Do you like have somebody that like does that type of stuff? I don't really know about that.
I had somebody for a little bit, but you know who I actually have started? Well, she doesn't necessarily do chakra healing. She does energy healing, but chakras kind of fall into that realm. Rosalinda, the makeup artist, she's really like deep into energy healing. And I kind of ditched the last one I was with because somebody else, I don't know, it was a whole weird thing.
Yeah.
But so I've been seeing her just on like energy things that I needed to let go of. And yeah, it's still there. Whenever I talk about pain, when people are like, "Where are you feeling it?" I'm like, my throat, my mouth.
Yeah. Is that the one where they actually place the crystals on your body when you lie down?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I've never tried it. Maybe I should.
I like it. I mean, I'm not going to say therapy doesn't help, but I'm just going to say I felt like I've always had a lot of, therapists feel very judgmental to me, and I like energy because they're not actually asking for details of your life. You're you're instead figuring out how to heal yourself because you already know what's wrong.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need someone to say this is wrong. Your body's actually physically telling you, as I'm talking about this doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. And I agree with you because I've went to a lot of therapists and I felt the same way. And this is even before porn. Like, I've been seeing therapists since I was like a fucking teenager. Yeah. But like, I always felt so judged. And I'm like a huge advocate for mental health.
Me too.
My best friend when I was younger committed suicide. And like, ever since then,
horrible.
like, I even went through points in my life where I was like suicidal and stuff like that. So I'm like an advocate for like, mental health matters, and like if you need help, ask. Like there's people out there, and there's support groups and a million different things. You don't have to see a therapist per se.
Yeah, as long as you're working on yourself. You know, as long as you're aware that like you're a human, you have things that are normal to feel, things that are like not normal to feel, but things that you need to work on, you know. And it's better to just like recognize it and try to fix it about yourself, because I mean, problems never really go away. We just learn how to deal with them, right?
Exactly.
That monster in our head is always there. We just learned how to make it a friend.
Well, the cool thing about my alcoholism is a monster for sure. The cool thing about I did neurofeedback, which is like another like kind of like how yours is with energy. This one's like dealing with your brain. You actually get hooked up and it puts you in a meditative state, and basically rewires your brain. So I no longer like have any type of emotional connection to trauma I've been through in my life. I don't have PTSD anymore.
Oh, whoa.
It's amazing. Yeah,
I would love to try that.
It's amazing. I can give you the connection for it, but it changed my fucking life. Like anybody who's able to do that, like I totally recommend it. Like literally saved my life, helped with anxiety. Like I don't really have patience.
Yeah.
Unless it's weird, unless it's like super chaotic.
Yeah.
I have patience then, but when it's not chaotic, I'm just like, all right, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
So a little bit of a manic state where you want it done right away. Because I'm similar. I'm like, I'm up and down. And, I love, like, obviously once something feels good, I go with it. And that's why I've always like personally, and I'm not saying this is for everyone, but I've always avoided things that have been prescribed to me. Because I'm like, I love my highs so much that I'll take my lows, you know, and my lows can go back and forth of being like really, really bad. But I'm like, it's always going to be worth my high. My high feels so, so good. Yeah. You know, that natural high that like your brain gives you when you're feeling the best you ever.
When do you feel the best you ever? Like when is that like something that you go through weekly or
it's kind of like a bi-weekly thing, maybe a little bit more. It'll last like a day or two. I think it's typically when I wake up. It's I'm very Pisces, I'm very dreamy, and no matter how much weed I've smoked, I've still always I dream so vividly. I'm even like I lucid dreamed the other day. It was I did mushrooms in my dream the other day, and I stopped in my dream. I stopped dreaming, and I was like me in my dream, and I was like, when did you take those?
You're like judging yourself in your dream.
I was like I don't remember you consuming these actually.
That's hilarious.
But so like it's funny because most of the time, naturally, I'm obviously gonna wake up from a happy dream feeling happy. But when I have dreams where because in that dream I was trapped. Like I kept trying to leave this town. So, and I'll get back to where I was raised, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was trying to leave this town. Every time I kept ending up at the same doorstep, and I'm like, and I in my dream I was like, okay, Kenzie, look at, clearly you're stuck here for some reason. Like, what's going on? You know, I was like having this whole conversation with myself within it, and it was so deep. But I woke up still happy. You know, so there's still these kind of states where I'll have like 3 really good mornings out of the week, and then other ones that are a little bit more mellow. Yeah. But like the days I want to wake up and stretch and put my classical music on and cuddle with my dog.
You like classical music?
I do like classical music.
That's cool.
Yeah, put some Beethoven on when I wake up.
That's sexy, okay?
Thank you.
I listen to Beethoven radio on Pandora.
Beethoven's great.
I also am obsessed with Frank Sinatra.
Oh,
Frank Sinatra radio on Pandora is amazing too.
Absolutely.
Super chill. Love it.
I agree.
So I want to ask you a couple of questions.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. What is something that you haven't gotten to do you'd like to do, whether it's in the industry or your life in general? Like basically what's on your bucket list?
I'm really trying to jump out of a plane soon.
Skydiving? You've never been?
Yeah, I've never been.
I'm obsessed.
Okay, but I want to do it with someone who's done it because I don't want to do it with someone.
Obsessed.
I'm so down.
Okay.
See, my thing is this. I love to try new things with new people or people who also haven't done it. But skydiving is one of those things where I need to go with someone who's already done it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So let's go. Yeah. I'm dead serious, though.
I'm dead serious.
I want it to happen. Okay, cool.
Love it.
All right.
Next. Is there anything else on your bucket list?
Let's see. I mean, besides some like, and I'm like probably not gonna think of specific national forests, but I used to be a big backpacker when I was in my early 20s, and I would love to visit more national forests than I have in the States.
So when you say backpacking, were you just camping the entire time?
Yeah, but like with one backpack, like the big, like you have everything with you kind
Heavy
of thing.
as fuck.
You're eating like your canned food and like, you know, drinking whiskey. I was a hippie, believe it or not.
I could see that. I could see you with like fucking peace sign earrings. Just
it was such a little. Well, it wasn't like a super cliche one, but I was definitely like a big stoner like girl. Like I was even like every now and then I'll throw on my little hippie outfits. Like last night I went to my friend's house and I had this like giant like knit sweater and like my little my black boots. And I'm like, this is such an old Kenzie outfit.
Do you think you judge yourself a lot?
I don't think I judge myself as much anymore. In my early 20s, for sure. I think growing out of a state of me that I didn't love, I judged myself a lot because I let myself sit in a place that I shouldn't have been in for about like 5 or 6 years. And that's a really long time to sit.
Yeah, it is.
And I judged that.
I did the same.
And it took me a long time to kind of walk out of that and be like, you know what? And actually, I took my sister, I want to say like about 3 months ago, I was having like a wine night with my sister, and she was like, Mackenzie's my name, by the way, and I have no issue saying that. But
Yeah.
like, so she's like, you've always done the best you could in your state, and you just weren't mentally like ready and strong enough to get out of that place, you know? So yeah, there's judgment there, but I think for good reason. But I love that girl. I mean, I wish I could hug the girl in my early 20s. She needed it so bad.
That's how I feel about the probably 16-year-old version of myself. Like 16 until I was like 24. Like, she needed some damn love. That's what that girl needed, okay? She needed it.
For sure.
But she's getting it now, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I always say I needed someone to listen to me. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Listening to you and actually hearing you.
Comprehending.
Yes. There's a difference between, I'm listening or I'm actually hearing you. So.
For sure.
I think anyway. Everyone's opinions vary, so.
I mean, but I'm with you. I agree with
it. To each their own. Let's see. Do you have any fetishes?
Okay, I guess these things I didn't really realize were fetishes that became fetishes. I have a hand fetish.
A hand fetish?
Yeah, and
men or women?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about the hand do you like?
I just really like a well-groomed hand. And I guess that goes into feet too. I didn't really realize I was a foot person until I realized that I judge a person's entire body based off of their feet. Which, by the way, talking about smelly dick, he had I'm like, go get a fucking pedicure. Oh, I mean, of course that says a lot about your ball sack and your dick, you know? Like, so for me, I just think that, not to be weird on the topic of fetishes, but like my dad always taught me you can tell a lot by a person by the way that they, the inside of their car is.
Yep.
Their hands and their shoes. And it has nothing to do with the level of type of car, type of shoe, type of manicure. It's literally just how it looks.
Yeah.
It's the cleanliness. It's taking care of it. So.
I totally agree with that.
So that naturally became, I'm like, when someone knows how to finger me properly and has like long, beautiful, well manicured hands, male or female, I'm like, that just like melts me.
Yeah.
It melts me.
That's why I have short nails for the girls, because I don't know why, but a lot of the times girls, when they have longer nails and they're going in my kitty,
hurts. I can't do it.
I'm
Not
like,
really.
you're stabbing me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, Kaylee Gunner, with your stiletto nails.
She makes it work though. She makes it work though. I'll say that.
She stimulates the outside real good.
But I'll say, like, even for me, even lesbian or not, like, I'm a clit rubber and I never want to cut anyone's dick.
Yeah, exactly.
But I also like to be able to, like, I love going in a woman's pussy and being able to feel everything. Yeah. Like, some girls have, like, what feels like 2 G spots. Yeah. I'm like, whoa, what's this one? Whoa, what's this one? You know, like, I want to feel that on me. I don't want my fingernail to feel it first. Yeah. So,
you know what I actually really like to rub it too is, like, if so you're given a blowjob and like the dude's balls like right underneath his balls, that area,
yes, that
and you're like rubbing
area.
Like rubbing along that.
I agree.
Or like with your tongue too. Like
as long as that hair is not getting around my tongue.
Yes. Well groomed only, okay?
Please.
Please, well groomed.
I'm well groomed, so please also like
you're probably me. Were you debating on like taking your tongue ring out because it was so
No, and actually my tongue ring did fall out during a scene once. I never was close to it, but it was a really good scene. I was like but they were 2 really hairless dudes. I'm like, it could have happened on I should have taken the tongue ring out. It was so gross.
Yeah. How long have you had it pierced?
I got it pierced about 2 years ago.
Do you like it?
I love it. Yeah. I will say the first week of getting it pierced is you're sitting there and you're like, I'm such an idiot. I got it pierced when I was drunk. Yeah. And I didn't eat dinner that night. And I went and got it pierced and I was, you know, it's painless. You don't feel a thing. Really? And then my friend was with me and then we were like laying in my bed watching a movie and I started eating it. I'm like, I love my tongue. And like she's like maybe like trying to like feed me like cold things and I'm like I need food because we got drunk and my stomach needs to absorb. Yeah. And I couldn't eat a thing. So I had like off of like no drinks. I had like a day hangover because I couldn't put anything in my stomach because I couldn't eat.
Fuck. I would have just like dumped like Pedialyte.
Right.
'Cause you probably couldn't even use a straw either.
No, nothing. It felt like the worst canker sore ever.
Yeah. I was thinking of getting it when I was younger, but then, you know, people always are like, they could hit a nerve and paralyze you. And I used to be so fearful, and now I'm like, who gives a shit? If that's
how I die.
Exactly. My parents said the same thing. They're like, if that's how I'm gonna go out, that's how I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna live my life.
You can't be scared of death.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the most inevitable thing we have.
That's why when people freak out if I go skydiving, I'm like, dude, if I die skydiving, that's amazing.
That's amazing.
At least I was fucking living.
And thank God it wasn't a car accident.
And I was like high off an adrenaline rush. I can't even tell you that.
Yeah.
It is the best high you'll ever feel in
I
your
wanna do
life.
it so bad.
Better than any drug I've ever done.
Hell yeah.
Like, it's just phenomenal. Like, you realize when you're up in the air like that, and you go like basically, I think it's 120 miles an hour for almost a minute, and then that's when the parachute comes, and then you go slower.
Yeah,
but
and I bet it's so beautiful once your parachute.
It's beautiful,
and
and
that's the moment I want to feel.
But you look around and you like realize like how like small everything is, and like materialistic things don't matter. Like the world is so huge. There's so many things. You know what I mean? And like, I feel like people take that for granted.
For sure. I mean, that's why I love backpacking so much. One of my favorite things was that same exact thought, even on the peak of a mountain. You look up there and you know you can't stay there forever. You know, like this is a momentary moment where you like, you're looking around and you're seeing like everything is so small. And I am so small. This world is like, and this is it. This is just Earth, you know?
Yeah. And you're like, what the hell?
Why do I think I'm so important? Why do I think my problems are so important? Why do I think this little voice in my head is so important? Get out of here.
Your sarcastic voice is literally my idiotic part of my brain that's like, you're just fucking stupid. Like,
yeah, exactly.
What the fuck
Get
are you doing?
Here.
Yeah.
Well, no, okay, to be deep though, one of the best things my mom always said when she didn't know how to give advice was, will this problem matter in 6 months? Will it matter in a year? Will it matter in 2 years? Will it matter in 5? Because like it always goes away. Yeah. You know? No matter what it is. Like sometimes we fuck up. Sometimes we're like, I said something stupid.
Yeah.
What now?
Yeah.
And then people forget, you know?
That's so true. My husband always says like things about because I talk very fast sometimes, if you couldn't already tell. Like I think we both do. Yeah. So I'll be talking, and sometimes if I get upset about something or whatever, because we all get upset, okay? I'm not perfect, but I'll say maybe some fucked up shit, and then he'll be like, why do you have to talk like that? And then he'll just remind me, like, when you're saying things to someone, like, you just have to remember, is it necessary? Is it kind?
Yeah, I know. It's true.
And is that serving a purpose? Like,
is it serving a purpose?
Yeah. Like, no, it wasn't. You're right.
I've always thought the criticism that isn't unimportant is the things that can't be changed in that moment, you know? Like, if I, like, the judgments of, like, oh, my gosh, yeah, like, if I can't change this right now, like, hey, you have food in your teeth, why are you criticizing me? You know? Yeah. Like, you don't make somebody feel bad for what they're currently doing unless it's something that can actually be changed, you know? But I know that's why I stay out of relationships right now, because I was a mouth runner. I'm not going to say I wasn't toxic in the places I've been.
Yeah, it's crazy. We've been through a lot. We'll have 6 years in June, so it was pretty crazy.
Wow, I did 6 years once with someone.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It wasn't so great, though, but...
Yeah. Well, we had some rough patches, and we got sober together, and, well, not together. We're a little bit apart, but, yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Well, good for you.
Thanks. So what would you say to a new girl that is about to enter the adult industry?
Well, as a new girl, I feel like I try to like consider myself still my porn anniversary is in April 30th. So I'm very new, but I would say to make sure you don't do things that you don't want to do. Something I think I forget is because I was contracted right when I started, so I never really had to worry about who was going to be on set, what was going to be the script, what the whole thing was, because I knew that the company I was contracted to knew how to take care of me, and they understood me. And then as soon as I got out, I went for it. You know, I was like, I'm a yes girl. And I got booked so much that I would forget to look at what my call sheet was saying. So it's important to make sure you like tell people, whoever's booking you, or if you're booking yourself, to reflect on making sure you have time off, but also that you know what you're about to get yourself into. Because sometimes I'm so booked that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm working. Oh, like I forget the script, I forget what's going on with this. So pay attention to detail and learn your boundaries really quick, because you can push them, but you don't want to push them the day of.
Yeah.
You never want to just like sign up for something and not be comfortable with it. That's a pretty scary place to be.
Definitely.
And I feel like that's maybe what's changing in porn too, hopefully, is that people aren't showing up to set saying, I didn't know this was going to be happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like things are getting a lot better. Like you probably never encountered this, but it just was implemented a little bit before you got in. Like if you've worked for Gamma, for example, you'll have all these sheets of like what's okay, what's not okay. Like, and there's like a stack of paperwork.
Yes.
I'm not kidding. The paperwork we fill out is insane.
Every single set.
To fuck. Like it's crazy. Yeah.
And you know what? I think it's important because there's things that like, I'm for the most part a very like cisgendered female who identifies extremely girly, and as a female, for the most part straight, pretty much loves women though. So my category is pretty simple to read, but people will still do things that you're like, I didn't realize I needed to put that on a no list. Like somebody, to be like a little, not so creepy, somebody put their tongue in my ear. And I'm like, my ear was wet for the rest of the scene. It was so gross that now I actually have to go through and tell people,
just like
please don't lick my ear.
Yeah.
Inside of it. Don't get me
wrong.
Like
outside is okay on the lobe a little bit, but like, ooh.
Yeah, that like tongue inside of my ear is not my vagina.
I'm sure you're clean, but can you imagine sticking their tongue in someone's ear that's like full of wax?
And even that, I'm like, I think I'm a clean person, and I still think that's a dirty part of my body. Come on.
You're like, this is disgusting. What the hell?
That's gross. My ear, save me.
I think it's great though, like how you said, having personal time. Like there's Kenzie Anne time and there's Mackenzie time. Like
absolutely,
there's a huge thing that people don't recognize, I feel like, and they get, especially newer girls that don't know, they get overwhelmed and they're constantly working, and it's like it's so important, especially for your mental health, to take that part. Days off. You know what I mean?
That part, because it's the mental health days are huge. Especially this industry, really, like I've had so much fun in it, and then I've just had some days that really just like wear and tear me mentally, and I could go into a whole thing of it. Like, I mean, because I struggle with being a straight woman, actually, because I find myself romantically and physically loving women a lot more than my like hormones do. I'm like, I have more romantic relationships. I am a girl's girl to a T. I can make any girl my friend. Anyone in the room. Seriously. That is a talent my mother gave me. And with guys, I'm like, I have no idea how to talk to you.
See, so like it's so funny because I'm the complete I'm like a bro. Like all my friends are dudes basically, and that's just how I've been.
So you're like more of a guy's girl. Yeah, we are opposite in that way.
But it's weird though.
And then you identify as like more gay a little bit, right? Like, you're like a pretty gay girl, right?
So I'm pansexual. Like I like everything, but I mean, I really, really love women. Like I just happen to be, in love with and married to a straight male, but he's totally cool with.
But you have a good husband though.
Yeah, he's totally cool with like me having a girlfriend and all that shit. And
I mean, who wouldn't be?
Well, he's like, as long as
he's like still like that's like the luckiest guy ever.
He's like, as long as we can, fuck around sometimes together. I'm like, well, obviously. Yeah. Can you imagine? Just no, you're not.
This is mine.
Yeah. That'd be weird.
Sharing is caring for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I would definitely say I'm like a guy's girl.
Okay. Yeah, so we are opposite in that way. And so like every day I struggle with like, my gayness trapped inside my straightness, because physically I'm like, and then I kind of more recently realized how much I fall into the perfect category of kind of having a romantic girlfriend and fucking a guy together. Like I'm like, I get to look at the face of a woman that I love and care about and go on dates with and like buy presents for, while we're both taking a dick that we're sharing. I just realized how perfect. That combination is for me, you know?
Yeah.
So this is why the woman tattooed on my ankle, Emily Joyce Jones, we've always joked that when we were like 60 and we're so not going to be married by then, that we'll just end up together and like dating men together.
You guys are gonna like skip off into the sunset at the beach and
like,
fuck everybody.
Totally. I'm like, that's hot because like I'm like I don't know what to do with you except I know your anatomy really well.
Yeah,
men, I know your anatomy well, but I don't know you.
I don't know you, but your anatomy, what's up?
Because I'm cursed with the fact that I love those like large, tall, 6'4" bulky guys.
Yeah,
which are the ones
I
get,
a guy's taller.
which I get along with the least.
Yeah,
I'm like, can I just like femme men? That'd be so wonderful.
It was funny because I'm friends with a lot of gay men, and like they're so fucking beautiful.
I know.
Gay men literally are fucking gorgeous. Like it's crazy to me, and I'm like, oh my god, well, like, can you
straight men this?
Can you like clone yourself? Like, come on.
We need more of you. Yeah. With the hormones that are attracted to me.
Thanks. But I don't know. It's just it's this thing, you know, where you're just like hoping for more attractive men.
I know.
That won't be like creepy.
I know. I have this issue. How tall are you?
I'm 5'7".
Okay, we're the same height. Mm-hmm. So, and you're curvy too. You got big, yeah.
I'm not trying to be, I stalked you, whatever. We have like the same stats. It's weird. Like the only difference is our boob size, because I think your implants are different than mine.
I got silicone.
Yeah, well, I have the natural gel silicone,
okay.
But I think the CC thing is different.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I got 800.
Oh, yeah. Mine were like in the 315, 320 or whatever. I don't know. I forget what the increments are, but it's low 300.
I just went with what my doctor was like, this will be good. It won't look odd, like whatever. Because I wanted to be bigger, but not like huge.
Yours are amazing.
Thank you.
When I got my boobs done, I'm going to be 29 on this coming up. So to give a time frame, I've had my boobs for like just under a decade. Mm-hmm. I was really, really skinny when I got them. Like I probably weighed like 100 pounds. Mm-hmm. And so they went really small on me. Yeah. Which I'm fine with because I think they fit my body. But like
I think they're great.
I
like your piercings too.
Thank you. Yeah. I used to have both, but I need to get
one now, right?
Yeah, this one keeps getting infected.
Stalker alert.
I had a drunk tequila night.
You're like, yeah, what the fuck? I only have one.
I don't know. I thought I was telling her this now, but apparently she knew. I had a drunk night at my apartment, and I was like, you know, being a normal host and giving everybody lap dances, and
everyone like, hey,
like
go sit over there.
My friends that were over, and I went up with my stripper pole and I like hit my tit on my stripper pole and it got all infected, and it was the last night of the piercing.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Sad times.
Ugh, that would be so bad. Yeah, I actually had my nipples pierced before I got my boobs done.
Same.
Took them out.
Yeah.
Went to go put them back in. They closed up. I'm like, how do they close that fast? I had them pierced for like 6 years.
I know.
I got them re-pierced. One of them stayed. One of them rejected. And I was like, fuck this.
Yeah,
whatever.
That's just what happens.
I'm like, okay, this is fucking stupid. Why am I going to keep trying to like make this work? Like they're just done, you know?
That's how I felt with
it's
this.
It's over.
That's why I've not gone back to it. It's always the one that fell out.
So have you had any type of romantic relationships like outside of, you know, the industry? Have you been able to do that, or have people been judgy about
my last relationship going into porn? And the plan was to go into porn when I was with this guy. Was the relationship I feel like I recently let go of emotionally. I mean, what happened was it was a bad relationship. I stopped talking to him, and then he made his way back into being my friend. And I recently told him, hey, you know what? I think I'm holding on to something here, and you need to go. Yeah. Because I need space for love again, you know?
It's really healthy.
Totally. Yeah. And so my last relationship was something that was, I knew going into porn. I told him, hey, you know, this is my path right now. Mm-hmm. If you want an open relationship, I'm so down to have one with you. I think it'd be really healthy and we could work it through. And he's like, absolutely not. I do not want that. Like, I want it to be just you and I. And he cheated on me the whole time, actually. So it was so, like, it was
comical.
I know.
I would have been like,
hilarious.
You, sir, are a
hilarious.
joker.
But what was crazy is, like, he was so verbally manipulative in the sense that I was told, you know, when I found the other women he cheated on me with and I hit them up, they were like, they didn't believe me because they were fed that I was this psycho who was obsessed with him. Because, like, I mean, let's just, like, do I look like I'd be obsessed with somebody? I'm just wondering, like, I'm not
Everyone would be obsessed with you.
I'm just trying to, like, put this out there because I'm, like, imagining this, like, really tatted little, like, skinny, tall dude whose dresses in baggy pants. And I'm like,
yeah, I'm
yeah,
obsessed.
I borderline just, like, wish I was gay. And you think that I'm obsessed with you? I'm just saying, like, sorry. You have really nice hands. But I hope he listens to this. But anyways, it was like,
he might be, you know, obsessed with you now.
Oh,
He's the psycho.
So I feel like that was my last straw in the sense of trying to have anything normal, because he really showed me how, you know, he said all these things like, no one's ever going to love you. You're a whore. Like, no one's going to want to introduce you to their moms. Low key, everybody's mom loves me.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm a
moms.
very lovable, like, I'm like, I get along with everyone's moms.
Yeah.
I was a hairdresser.
Yeah. You're like, I'll do their fucking hair, okay?
Come on. So outside of that, I did have a little porn boyfriend for a bit, but it wasn't a very normal situation. And then I didn't really realize it was a relationship till it ended.
Yeah.
And I think I'm trying to find some normalcy right now.
Would you rather date someone that is not in the industry, or would you rather find someone that is?
I'm not opposed to either.
Yeah.
I think, like, because right now I'm sort of into somebody who is in the industry, but like slightly retired.
Yeah.
And it's just something that actually just, like, the connection was just there, you
Yeah.
know? Because there's nothing specifically in characteristics that I look for except for, like, basic human rights characteristics.
Yeah.
If you have those going on and you're, like, a respectable human being who respects other human beings, then it's a go as far as, like, connection goes. So,
Yeah.
so for me, I don't think it's gonna matter if you're in porn or not. I think it's just like, if you understand that my job is my job and I enjoy my job and I don't hate it and I like sex,
Yeah.
then we can go for this. But until then, like, I'm not opposed to not even dating in porn. Like, just having my whole porn career not be about having a significant other. That's totally fine with me, and waiting.
Yeah.
But still, I always thought, like, one of my my sister's boyfriend asked me, her husband, he's like, doesn't it bother you that, you know, people are, like, immediately going to judge you for that? I'm like, I think it throws people in the trash can right away, and I love that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like, okay, you're judgmental. Bye.
Bye. I don't want you. I don't want to make this work.
There's the door.
Exactly. Why would I try to make that work? I'm not going to
Yeah.
change you.
Yeah.
You don't like sex workers? Get the fuck out of here.
And honestly, like, what are you gonna go up to? Hi, I'm Kenzie. I'm a porn star. Like,
exactly.
who does that?
I know. Exactly.
I will say though, I don't know if you've seen the video. I made a funny video about it, but it was a true story. The TikTok I made.
There was follow your TikTok.
Oh, it's funny. I want to make more videos, but I don't know what I'm doing.
I know,
feel,
same.
I feel so stupid. And
Me
my
too.
baby sister, she's 16, and she's like,
She's
so
on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's like trying to teach me this shit, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
What's happening
But
here?
anyway, so I'm at this bar, like, just hanging out with friends or whatever, sitting there, and I'm talking to this girl, and we're talking, whatever, and I'm like, oh, so what do you do? And she's like, I'm an Instagram influencer. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Sorry, the cough
Yeah,
was
yeah.
actually natural.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, you're fine.
I also used to be an Instagram influencer. Sorry, I
No,
wasn't bashing that at all.
That's just what she said. And she goes, she said, an Instagram influencer. And she goes, so what do you do? I was like, oh, well, I'm in porn. And she goes, oh my God, I could never do that. And then she was just like turning her head like, oh. And I said, yeah, it's not for everybody, but I mean, I love it. I have a good time, and it's
Nice.
I don't know, it's great for me. And then this guy out of nowhere wasn't even next to the girl. He was like over in here, comes zooming over. He was listening to the conversation or something, and knocks right into her. And he's like, don't let her fool you. She just fucked some SoundCloud DJ for free Coachella tickets.
Yep.
I was like, okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, have a nice night. And she was just like, oh my God, that was like only 2 times. I was like, okay.
Okay, so a few things.
At least I get paid and I get tested, so
It's
bye.
clean.
Yeah.
So a few things got me into porn, but one of them will be this. I was trying to make modeling work for a long time for me, and what happened was my last straw was trying to become a guest model.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was to fuck Paul Marciano, who's the owner. And once I was
What a joke.
right, what a fucking joke for a modeling job.
Yeah. No, sir.
Yeah.
Bye.
So like that, and that was sort of the last thing that got me into going to school again, was because I was like, once then, the mentality of me going into porn was being like, if I'm going to fuck someone, I may as well be getting paid for it. It may as well be on camera because it looks good.
Yeah.
And it may as well be with somebody who knows how to fuck me back.
Yeah. You're like, hello, have you seen me?
Have you seen the sex that we can make on camera? It's great.
I will
great.
say something, I mean, you're hot as fuck, but like you do this thing when you're like flipping your hair. And I'm like, I just jizzed in my pants. Like, seriously, I just jizzed. Just by the hair flip. I'm like, are you fucking?
You.
And then I
wish I could do it right now.
I seen this photo. Okay, I seen this photo of you. I think it was at the Motley Manor. Shout out to Motley Models. And I think it was at the Motley Manor, and you were like basically falling out of a car.
Yes.
You were like laying on the ground, and I was
I
just like,
that.
are you fucking serious? Is this a joke? She's literally like just flopped out of this car, and like I don't know how you make that sexy. Like I would have looked like a fucking beached whale. Like somebody come get Shamu to go back out to the
my
ocean.
God, stop it, Kenzie.
It was ridiculous. I was like, okay.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So you don't regret then just being like fuck modeling, whatever?
Not at all.
I feel like you still kind of do modeling.
Exactly.
I mean, you were Penthouse Pet of the Year, correct?
Yes. And I think, if anything, I mean, we have these girls like Chloe Cherry and Euphoria and stuff. And I think that these things are going to become more like, people are going to be like, let's be different and let's cast a porn star. I think that's going to happen. And
I hope so.
Yesterday on set, the stylist was he was a mainstream stylist, and he's like, I'm connecting you with my agent because you need to get like an NARS campaign because you know what you're doing as far as modeling goes. And I'm like, you know what? I am going to wing it. One of my goals this year in 2022 was to have a better modeling portfolio outside of adult pictures and make sure that I have this thing going, because I'm like, I may as well start planting the seed for some company that one day is going to say, yeah, we're going to cast a porn star, because I know that I will have that 10-year modeling background experience that I could be grabbed for that. I just want to plant the seed. Like
exactly.
I mean, I hope
seed planted.
Yeah, like it can exist.
It will happen
because, like, you know what, mainstream, you're not against fucking sex workers because you are sex workers behind closed doors. Yeah. So let's make it openly
Euphoria,
happen.
Great show. It's a softcore porn.
It is softcore porn.
So
exactly. But what isn't? What are you selling? What is marketing? What is marketing?
Yeah. I'm like, how can you hate us?
Why are you buying anything?
Why are you jerking off to me? I'm like, what is happening?
Why are you watching? Why are you buying anything? Everything is like, I've something that was really huge, and like I noticed when I was in school was I will always test positive for thinking that our hormones drive us. I mean, why do you think we are the way we are? Why do you think I still like dick? I would love to like, you know what I mean? Why do you think people go through transitions? Why do you think people change their sexual like orientation throughout their life? Because they want to try different things. We are driven by our hormones, So naturally, every single thing that is advertised to us feeds into our hormones and our sexual desires, no matter what it is. Even if it's a fucking eyeshadow palette.
It's true. Because somehow it'll be sexy.
Yeah.
Like the girl in the thing, the ad will just have big old titties hanging out.
Yeah.
I mean, even.
Sex eyes.
Okay, fashionnova.com, right?
Right.
Shopping on there. Hot as fuck. These girls with these outfits on. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
She threw her paper.
Yeah. I was seriously, that's how I feel.
I know. It's so true.
Like, so hot.
Agreed.
I don't even know. I'm just. Flustered
She's
now.
Hot
I'm talking
now.
about
She's all hot and
hot models
hot and bothered.
hot Kenzie. Oh God. Ooh la la. I will say though, I love your set that you did. I believe it was for Twisties Trade of the Month when you
Oh,
did
Bombshell.
Oh, Bombshell.
It was Holly
Sorry.
Randall's.
Yes, Bombshell the month. And you basically did kind of like a
Jessica
Jessica Rabbit
Rabbit.
look. I loved that.
I was obsessed with that.
That was so classy. And you know what's funny? Earlier we had talked about someone thinking you're a singer. Maybe they seen that.
You know what though? Like that felt like it was a part of my past life.
Yeah.
Like I had done that before because I embodied that character so well.
I feel like
I didn't want to ditch her.
Such a good jazz singer because your voice is like raspier.
try
You know
it.
what I mean? I feel like jazz, you'd kill it. Have you ever been to a jazz club?
No, I haven't, and I want to. I feel like the things I wanted to try really were ruined by the pandemic, and I can't wait for them to come back. Like theater.
So in New York, there's this club that I go to. It's called Jazz Standard, and it's so awesome.
They were closed. I went when I went to New York actually because we were gonna try to go there.
Yeah, I think they're reopened now though, because
Okay.
everything's kind of like lightening up. And yesterday, I believe, like LA lifted the mask thing, so I was like, okay, finally.
My mouth can be seen. I know. I'm like,
I'm like, fuck, is this fucking up my makeup?
it's fucking up my makeup, and also just like when I wake up in the morning, I don't have a voice. I can't go in places where people can't read my mouth.
Yeah. I feel like I'm shouting. I'm like, that over there, like, hello,
blueberry muffin.
Yeah. What do you want? A coffee. Like,
Vanilla latte. Oat milk.
thank you, Starbucks lady. Oh, fuck.
I wish I did give my orders that way, actually.
Right? Have you watched Anchorman?
A little bit of Anchorman, but like I feel like that was something. I don't know who I was dating.
I do
But I
Ron
would wa-
Burgundy's voice often. I feel like it'd be funny to talk like that with a mask on.
Oh,
Yeah.
you said Anchorman. I thought you were
Anchorman,
talking. What was that show? Anchor with the cartoon. It's a never mind. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
never mind. I've seen Anchorman many
Yeah,
times.
yeah. You're like, the cartoon? I don't know. Popeye the Sailor Man is like the only cartoon I know of, and SpongeBob SquarePants.
I was gonna say you know SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
He's got a pineapple.
And we
do know
love SpongeBob.
So we have about a few minutes left.
Of course.
I would love for you to share where people can find you, and then also any projects, movies and stuff like that you have coming out that you want to give a shout out to or anything like that.
Well, I'll give you my shout outs, which are going to be Miss MISS Kenzie Anne. That's pretty much everywhere, except for in TikTok has to be MS because it was taken.
Yeah.
Because it was taken by somebody who's trying to
pretend to be you.
be me, which is great. But as far as like projects go, I do have a movie I'll be making this year, but I can't shout it out yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just keep updated on
Can
my
you say
socials.
who it's for?
No.
Or you're not allowed.
Mm-mm.
Top secret. Shh.
Guesses.
ASMR. I did that with Kaylee earlier.
Every time I go on TikTok at nighttime, someone's putting like plastic foil over and like putting shaving cream. Like,
Oh,
it sounds so
Kaylee
good,
was
though.
talking about that. She said somebody put jelly over
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
It sounds good though, but I'm like, why am I hearing this? Like,
what does
we
it
should
sound
ask
like?
Mir
Just
for
like a
porn,
sloshing
honestly.
noise?
Yeah, it's a sloshing noise.
Oh, interesting.
But
Well, okay. You can follow this Instagram account for The Sauce with Kenzie Taylor at The Sauce Podcast _ and I am on Instagram and Twitter at The Kenzie Taylor, and I will see you next time. Thank you for coming, Kenzie.
thank you for watching. Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah.